Hi, this is Miss Hadi from Olympian High School, and we've been learning about early African societies. By and large, we've been looking at the area of the Sudanic people here and how they moved towards the Nile River Valley here, where my arrow is. I think there's a way for me to actually point this out, so I'm going to try it. So the Sudanic area was here. That's one area, and we saw these people move to the Nile River Valley, and then we also saw people from the Red Sea Hills move towards the Nile River Valley. Of course, there were other places that they moved to, like Lake Chad, Lake Victoria. But by and large, we've been mostly focusing here, right, this area. But now we're going to look at this area really that's south of the Sahara Desert. So we're looking at the diffusion or movement of Bantu people that roughly come from this modern country area of Cameroon. That country didn't exist back then. And they're going to go south and east. And as they spread, they're going to spread two major things. They're going to spread iron metallurgy and knowledge of agriculture. So those are the two things you need to write down if you're taking this on an inspect chart. So let's use the Traditions and Encounters textbook to learn about these Bantu people. So it tells you that the original Bantu language was one of many tongues or languages that was part of the larger Niger-Congo family of languages that was spoken in West Africa around 4000 BCE. It tells you that their original homeland was near modern Nigeria and Cameroon, that the word Bantu itself means people or persons, that they used to live along rivers and they had the technology of canoes. They cultivated yams and oil palms, and that they later adopted crops that they learned about that came to them from the Sudanic region that I mentioned earlier. If we go back to the map, to the Sudanic region here, not this Sudan. Okay, all right, so that was actually a very helpful pen. So it also tells you a couple things about them. They kept goats, they raised different kinds of domesticated animals, and then politically, they had chiefs. I wonder if I can still use my cool pen. They had chiefs. I'll just highlight it for you. And they had different religious rituals, and they dealt with other neighboring communities. One of the groups that they traded with used to be called pygmies in old history books. We no longer call them that. Instead, we call them forest peoples, and they often traded with these forest peoples things that they, couldn't get, like things from the forest, like meat, honey, forest products, in exchange for produced goods like pottery and stone axes. Then they start to migrate. So this is very similar to chapter 2, where you learned about the Indo-European migrations, which took place slowly over time, intermittently, from 3000 BCE to 1000 CE, and very similar time here. You have the Bantu people migrating south and east, and you'll read about that in your book. So that today, many of the people in Africa speak languages that are related to the original Bantu tongue. And here you can see their migrations, and these are sites of iron metallurgy. So the two things that they're spreading with them, the two effects, the spread of agriculture and the spread of iron metallurgy. So you can see where they're moving to. And it makes an explicit comparison to the Indo-European migrations. By 1000 CE, they've spread across most of Africa south of the Sahara. We don't really know the cause or why the Bantu people spread, but it's more than likely that it's because of population pressure. It means there's too many people, it gets crowded, and they're using their canoes to go look for other areas which aren't as crowded. Sometimes they could leapfrog over already established communities and create new settlements. When they encountered the forest peoples, which we used to call pygmies, they either pushed them deeper into the forest by putting pressure on them or absorbed them into their own agricultural societies. Let's see what else I want to tell you about here. It tells you that they often mix and intermarried with and absorb the forest people into their agricultural society. And the only other thing I want you to know is that about 1000 CE, there's more Bantu migrations. They're producing iron tools and weapons, and that's going to cause them, see the word enabled, which is a cause and effect word, it's going to cause them to clear up even more land with their iron tools, which is going to cause them to have even more agriculture, which leads to more population pressure, which leads to, because the population pressure, rapid population growth, which causes more migrations, and further spreads iron metallurgy and agriculture. So make sure that you, in your mind, compare the Bantu migrations with the Indo-European migrations. They're taking place roughly the same time, 3000 BCE to 1000 CE, and that you know the effects of those migrations. It's kind of sad that in the entire chapter on Africa, chapter 3, we're really mostly focusing on this northern part of Africa, and we're just now looking at the sort of the rest of Africa south of the Sahara.